I am very happy to be chatting with good friend Cory Albaugh, owner of Burnside Events. Cory, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Danny.
Of course. Now, you have been a part of the Frederick community your whole life, basically, but especially DJing. I've worked with you. I think you were still in college at the time. But recently you started your own company. When did you guys officially start?
So this started back in June of last year, so it's not even a full year yet on my own.
Awesome. And I
Yeah.
know things are going well because, of course, I keep tabs on you. But let's kind of go back to the very beginning on what kind of attracted you to this sort of live entertainment, being a DJ and doing weddings and events and things like that.
Yeah, so I've kind of grown up around it my entire life. My stepfather was a DJ back in the 90s, and then the guy that he was working with started another DJ company back up when I was leaving for college. And so when I left for college, I lost my high school job. And when I came back in the summertime, I basically just became a roadie. I would go to events, help them set up, break down, wrap cables, did whatever was needed to be done. And that kind of started my journey. So I picked things up pretty quickly just because I've been around it my whole life. Got all
Mm.
my own equipment, went down to college then that next year and started DJing down at college, would come back home. I did a bunch of events for you. And that kind of just that's how I fell into everything.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And I think being around it for so long, but being passionate about it, because it's not just all about you've learned everything from these huge corporate events to weddings and school dances and things like that. You've kind of seen the whole gamut.
It's a whole yeah, I've dabbled in every single different aspect of the DJ community, I feel. Between all of those events that you expressed and then the wedding industry is kind of where I found my niche, if you want to call
Mm,
it. And
yeah.
that's mainly why I started Burnside Events. We were doing all kinds of events between corporate weddings, birthday parties, and then we were traveling a lot doing game show events. And so I wanted to solely focus on the wedding industry
Mm.
and do weddings when I wanted, and not have to do 100+ events every single year like I was as my family starts to grow.
Yes, yes. And it is I guess unfortunately most of these events are on the weekends or evenings and yeah,
Yeah.
it can be a lot to take you away from your growing family and we want to congratulate you and your wife on a new baby due this coming summer. So that's exciting. Are you
Thank you.
ready?
No, but I know I'm going to be.
You will be. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know with the firstborn, everybody I think feels the same exact way, but I have no doubt you will drop right into it very, very quickly. Um, what sets you apart from other DJ companies, would you say?
So one thing I really try to focus on is personalization. I'm a very personable guy. I always try to go out of my way to make sure that the job is done one or somebody is satisfied and happy and taken care of. And
Mm,
so a lot of people nowadays, even in the photography realm, everybody calls themselves a DJ or a photographer with the iPhones. I mean, it's crazy now. And so to have a professional that actually knows what they're doing and not just
mhm.
hitting the play and stop button, but also being able to control a crowd, MC, and then going that extra mile by making sure that all the parts of an event come together and not just my own job. That's kind of what sets us apart.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a huge thing with especially probably a young couple's largest expense to date, unless they've purchased a house before they get married. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
huge undertaking, and a lot of people who aren't in the event world don't realize how much it takes to have everything flow smoothly, right? Because you're herding cats all day, and there's a lot of people involved. You have a lot of different vendors involved. So it's really nice, I'm sure, for a bride to know, or a family to know, that you can kind of help streamline that whole process, which is really cool.
Absolutely.
Uh,
So outside of just playing the music, which is what people think we do, a lot of times we end up acting as the coordinator and the day of
yeah,
coordinator as well. Even if they have one already, we are the one that is running the event hand in hand with that person. So we have to make sure that everything is prepared ahead of time. And that involves doing a timeline meeting, making sure everything is planned out and talked about beforehand. So that way, on the day of, it's really just about execution.
yeah. I mean, I think too, the DJs who are able, again, to be personable, help control the crowd, the flow of the event. That is excellent. What would you say has been the most challenging thing over the past year, having your own company versus working for somebody else?
So I wore many hats in my previous role with the company I was with before, but being a business owner, I thought I knew what the heck to do and that I would adapt those same hats. But no, I've taken on a lot more than I ever anticipated. I mean, as a business owner, I'm not just out there doing my thing on the weekends. It's all the stuff behind the scenes that people don't see, such as marketing. You got to learn, you either got to pay somebody to do a website for you, or you got to figure it out on your own.
Yeah,
A website marketing, you got to learn how to manage your books and keep track of the money. If you're subcontracting out, you got to figure out how to pay those people and how you're going to do that, and taxes. It's been a lot,
yeah,
but it's been a huge learning curve that I wouldn't go back on any of it. It's
yeah,
definitely opened my eyes to a lot, and I've met a lot of great people who have
yeah.
helped me along the way. I wouldn't be able to do this on my own.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think one thing as a business owner, and the best advice I can give is utilize people for their expertise, because your time is finite and it's so valuable. And if you can lean on people to help you or give you some cheat codes, because myself, you're up troubleshooting all kinds of things and spending hours at a time going down rabbit holes on how you can do things. So yeah, totally agree with that. How
That's
about
one of
what's
the
the
cool things about the Frederick community as well,
yeah,
though, because um, again, I'm no spring chicken to the DJ world, but a lot of the different business owners in the DJ industry have come alongside of me and just, hey, what can we do to help you and support you? It's Frederick is like nothing else out there.
yeah, and that's really good to hear. I talk to a lot of people in different industries where it's not like that. And, because you've kind of established yourself, and have a great reputation, it's really good to know that those in the industry have come to support, because there is enough work for everybody. There makes no sense to not try to help out. So that's really good. What's the best thing that's happened since June, almost being a year of owning your own company?
Just the amount that I've learned, and then the amount of control that I have. I had a lot of flexibility in my previous role, and I didn't have many restrictions, but I still had some.
Mm,
Being my own owner, I get to do whatever I want. I can market the way I want. I
yeah.
can take jobs whenever I want. I can refuse when I want as well. That's honestly been the coolest thing. Like, I just talked to a couple last week, and normally, with the previous role, I mean, we would try to book anything and everything. This
Yeah.
couple I spoke with last week, we just weren't a great fit. They were looking for something that I just wasn't the expert at. And so I was honest with them, and I told them, I said, I'm
Yeah.
not the one for you. And so I
Yeah.
pointed them in that right direction. So just being able to control what I do, when and where I do it, that's been the best part of this.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, I think, when people hear that, they might be going, "Oh, well, but I think it's so important. First of all, in any company that anybody owns, whatever you're doing, if you don't have if you don't feel it's a good fit, or you're not comfortable, no matter what happens, that's going to shine through. And I think that is going to keep your reputation stellar where it is, because you're going to only do the things that you know you can deliver what you expect of yourself, and people are going to feel that too, which is really great. But how nice is it to set your own schedule and say
I
yes or no?
know. I know. So instead of doing those 100 events I was doing every single year, I
Yeah.
capped out this year at 31 just for myself personally. I
Okay.
increased prices so I didn't lose any kind of revenue from doing 100 events. So in 30 events, I make what I did with 100 as a business
Wow.
owner now.
That's
So
pretty
it's
great. Yeah.
yeah, I just get time back with the family that I want.
Yeah, and I know, we had talked about this before, but if there was anything that could happen from now to the end of this year, what and so you've already capped out your events, right? So you said, so you're booked now basically through to the end of the year.
Yeah.
What is another goal that you might have to achieve this year?
Honestly, just making I'm brand new. Yes, I've been in the area for 11 years and I've been in this industry for 11 years, but Burnside Events is still brand new. And so
Yeah.
just keeping that name present in the eyes of everybody and at the top of list, that's my main focus because it's very easy to fall out even though I am capped. I'll still take on certain events here and there if they really
Mm,
catch my eye, but just making sure that I am at the top of my game. So when next year comes around, I'm still booking the way I want to. And so marketing is something that I'm really focusing on and
yeah.
doing a better job with my website, SEO, all of that. So I'm diving into learning a lot of that.
Yeah, and I think that that's really important, because even though, we're only in March and you're kind of at your limit of what you want to do this year, to not take your foot off the gas on the marketing side,
Um,
because then you have all that build up again to get that pipeline going. So it's really good to kind of hone those skills on the marketing, find out what works really well, and continuing to do that for, let's just say, 2025. Like, who is your ideal customer? If we're going to put something out there, who would you be looking for in 2025?
I'm looking for that brand new couple that just got engaged in their early 20s, whether they're in town or out of town, but just looking to have a good time. Not looking to book a DJ that you're going to give me pages of music and expect me just to play that. You're hiring somebody, you're hiring a professional, so let me do my job and try to cater to you all without you having to do too much work. That's my job. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody to come in that is just newly engaged and just looking to have a good time as far as the wedding as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important. And like you say, I think it's really important for a fit, because if you do have somebody who has come in and they kind of have written the script of the whole evening, that doesn't really leave you a lot of wiggle room to read the crowd and work the people into a frenzy. You kind of,
Yeah.
it's like writing a symphony, right? When you DJ
Yeah.
an event, it kind of has this ebb and flow. And I think it's important to have some control over that. So yeah, that's really cool.
And don't get me
Okay,
wrong,
so
they obviously can pick as much music as they want, but as long as we're
sure.
not handcuffed and I'm able to do my job, that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. Stay within these parameters, or these are
Yeah.
the types of things we like, or hey, we definitely want these 10 songs played throughout the night, but you can go with whatever else. Okay, so currently, even though you're fine tuning, the website is burnsideevents.com. Now, through
Yes.
that, can people book your services, and is that your preference when people reach out to you?
Yeah, so there's a Let's Connect page. It's got a little
Okay.
minion on it as well. They're one of my favorite characters. So they just fill out that inquiry. It comes to me directly. I have a 24-hour policy, so every inquiry, every email will be answered within 24 hours, and I will let them know if we're available or not from there. They can also follow us on Instagram at Burnside_events. We post a lot of content up there as well for people to get a visual on what we actually do.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Well, we wish you and your family all the best. And I know 2024 is an amazing year for you. Obviously, family wise and business wise. And we're, really happy to see you grow within this Frederick community. I know you're going to be around for a long time.
Thank you.